Okay. Question 17 reads, Isabella sells only rings and necklaces on her website. Rings sell for $50 each and necklaces sell for $30 each. If Isabella sold 25 pieces of jewelry and her sales totaled $1,050, how many necklaces did Isabella sell? What I'm automatically seeing is that this is a simultaneous equations question. And so ideally we should be able to make two separate equations and solve for n. Okay, so let's try to make this question a bit more digestible. I'm gonna say rings is R and necklaces is N. So I'm saying R is the number of rings sold. And N is the number of necklaces sold. Number of necklaces sold. Okay? And so 50R, okay, so we know that each ring sells for $50 each. 50R should be the total sales of rings, okay? It is the total amount of money we get from selling all the rings that Isabella has. And likewise, 30N, we know that each necklace sells for $30 each. 30N should be the total sales of necklaces. It's the total amount of money we receive from selling all of Isabella's necklaces. And so this is very important. With this information, now we can make two equations. The first one, it says we can find out how many the pieces of jewelry, and they say that Isabella sold 25 pieces of jewelry in total. Well, we know that R is the number of rings sold and N is the number of necklaces sold. So R plus N should be equal to 25, right? Because Isabella is only selling rings and necklaces, right? So the total number of jewelry pieces she sells is going to be R plus N, which is 25. That's our first equation. Our second equation is going to look more into this information, the $1,050, right? Well, if we know that Isabella, her sales totaled $1,050. Well, we know the total sales of the rings is 50R. And we know the total sales of the necklaces is 30N. And so 50R plus 30N should give us 1,050. And so that's our second equation. And so now we can actually solve for N. And this is our simultaneous equation system, right? And so let's solve for N. What I would like to do is that I'm gonna change up that first equation. I'm gonna make it so that the R variable, the rings, is isolated. The way I do that is by bringing necklaces, or the N, to the right hand side. And so R equals 25 minus N. And you'll see why this is important, because now I can replace this R into the second equation and solve for N. You see right now, if I'm gonna rewrite the second equation, 50, R is 25 minus N plus 30N equals 1,050, right? And so 50 into 25 is 1,250. I'm gonna FOIL it out, right? And 50 into minus N is minus 50N, and that 30N is still there, equals 1,050. I'm gonna combine like terms, right? And so it becomes 1,250 minus 20N gives us 1,050. And bring this all the way here. And so I'm gonna bring the 1,050 to the left hand side and the 20N to the right hand side. And so it becomes 1,250 minus 1,050 equals 20N. Right? That's a beautiful thing about bringing the 20N to the right hand side, is that it becomes from a negative to a positive, and it makes everything a little bit more neater. Okay? And so now 1,250 minus 1,050 becomes 200 equals 20N. And so N divide both sides by 20. And so n equals 200 over 20, which is 10. And so our answer to this question, how many necklaces did Isabella sell? Well, it's 10. 10 necklaces. And we can obviously solve for r as well if we sub it back in. R should be, if I sub it back right here, this number right here, r should be equal to 15. But they obviously don't ask for that answer.